I love traveling. I love going to new places, and I especially love fishing at new places. And that's what we're going to do on this week's episode. I've never seen that lake. We're gonna go see if we can catch some fish out of it anyway, and you're invited to come along because Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hi everybody, the show goes on the road today. Glad to have you along with us. We've driven a long way from where I live, and we are coming to you from as far north in Oklahoma as you can go and not go across the border into Kansas. Now, we're traveling today with the beautiful Tracker Pro Team 195 40th Anniversary Edition. I love to fish out of this boat. It travels well, it'll go anywhere, and on today's show, we are gonna take it out there. There is beautiful Kaw Lake. It's located east of Ponca City, Oklahoma. Now, it's on the Arkansas River. It's got a couple of big major arms to it. It's got lots of creeks coming in. It's got some really deep water down by the dam. It's got some shallow water. It's got lots of different species of fish. Tons of channel catfish. It's got largemouth bass. It's got white bass. It's got crappie, and it's got big hybrid stripers in it. And we're going to concentrate on the crappie fishing on this week's episode out there and give you a few tips, a few pointers that just may help you go to your favorite reservoir and put some crappie in your live well or fish basket this very weekend. And we may catch a couple of other species out there today. It's just gonna be a lot of fun. Got kind of a cloudy, overcast day. While we're out doing that, we're taking you around your local region for this week's fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters with this week's reports, both fresh and saltwater. Right now, my Tracker Pro Team 195 40th Anniversary Edition goes into Kaw Lake for the very first time. Next time you see me, I'll be out there. Let's get things started right now, back at the studio with your weekend planner.
The Salooner forecast is pointing to Saturday as the best option for fishing over the weekend, with game fish activity listed as good, while Sunday is projected to have fair conditions. The peak times on Saturday are forecast to begin at 2:30 a.m. in the morning and 2:55 p.m. in the afternoon. Expect the sun to rise at 6:53 and set at 5:29. And nights will feature a waning moon that is only 10% illuminated. Stay with us, we've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, I'll return with Bass Master angler Jacob Wheeler to answer this week's Ask the Pro question. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide's new wireless and easy-to-use XI3. XI batteries powering the world forward. Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. And Strike King, designed by the pros, fished by you.
Be a crappie. Oh, good crappie. Good crappie. Good crappie. Big crappie. Hey everybody, we're still at Kaw Lake today on a gorgeous day. Very light wind. Driving around out here, I don't know if you can see the buoy out in front of me, but I've dropped a marker buoy on a brush pile. There's one right there. Let's see what this is. Be a crappie. Oh, good crappie. Good crappie. Good crappie. Big crappie. All right, look at that. There is a big old crappie. Holy mackerel, look at the size of that, will you? Man, my little Bobby Garland baby shad. Look at that dude. That's one I drove all the way to northern Oklahoma, almost to Kansas, to catch a great big crappie like that one. Holy mackerel, look at that. I'm gonna have to put some in the live well now. I wasn't planning on keeping them today. I'm just kind of scouting around a little bit. But I tell you, some of these are gonna have to go in the live well right here. Real deep. You can see my buoy sitting out there. I'm just off the river channel. It's 60 feet deep right out there in front of me, and it comes up to 20. And there's some scattered brush on top of that ledge. And that is a great big one for you right there. That one's going in the live well. Hang with us. Gonna drag around here keep that jig right on the bottom and in contact with whatever brush I can find. And I'll show you what a couple of the shots of this brush look like, just so you know, on my LOWRANCE Hook 2 unit here. But just subtle brush, not giant brush piles, just little pieces of brush, and it's plenty to hold great big crappie. Hang with us, we'll see what else we can catch.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report, this week brought to you by the Crazy Sister Marina, located on the Marshwalk in Murrells Inlet. We're the leader in water sports. We have been for years. We can take care of all your needs, and I'll tell you, fall, you've got to get down here. It's great fishing, inshore, nearshore, and offshore, and we've got boats that can take you out and do it all. Or you can rent a boat and do it yourself. Visit crazysister.com for more information on how to book your trip. Let's talk about freshwater this week. So many things going on: crappie bite, striper bite. I tell you, Lake Moultrie, Lake Marion, you're going to start seeing those schoolie fish up there. Lake Murray, we're already seeing it. Up on Lake Norman as well. It's that time of the year. But let's go to bass, and I'll tell you, if you're looking for fall patterns, it's happening now. Start using some bigger baits. I'm a big buzz bait fan myself. I use micro buzz in the summer and late and early fall. This time of the year, I start moving to those bigger buzz baits, even the double-bladed buzz baits. You can have some good luck early in the morning, late in the afternoon with those as well. But fish those during the day. You can also catch some big fish. But it's a great time to get out there. Crankbaits and square bills going to work good. Look for those fish to be holding off of those deeper areas where that bait's going to be stacking up, those shad and herring, and you can find some big bass this time of the year. Also, the catfish bite's been incredible. My good buddy Stevie Pack says that they're starting to catch some big fish down there as well, along with those stripers that are schooling on Lake Marion also. This has been your Carolinas Report, brought to you by the Crazy Sister Marina. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
Man, we are catching them. I am catching them one right after the next. There's another one. I mean, I am getting hammered by catfish, big crappie. There's a big white bass. There's another fish I haven't caught yet until now. That pretty much makes it a grand slam. Man, it has already been one whale of a day out here. There's a giant white. Only thing we haven't caught is one of their big hybrids here. Man, this lake has got lots of species of fish in it, and they all want to bite at one time right now. This is really something. I have hit on the mother lode. You know, it's funny, I struggled some today. I was fishing too shallow most of the day, and once I backed off and started fishing deeper on these deeper brush piles, I immediately started getting bit. Here's the other thing I found. You need to pay attention when you're fishing like this in a brush pile. These fish are all suspended above the brush. They're not down in it. I can drop it all the way in the brush and I don't get bit, but I lift it up above the brush pile and immediately one hammers it. So all these fish are just swimming around. They don't always have to be right in a brush pile. They can be off to the side, they can be over the top of it, they can be on the bottom, but they don't necessarily have to be right in the brush to relate to that brush. And these fish are right above it every single time I pull it up. This is really fun here at Kaw Lake. Wow, that's a good spot. So there is another species for Kaw Lake. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. As you can see, we're still on Kaw Lake, but we're in a different boat. I want to explain about that, but we've actually pulled up onto a sandy point right here in front, and we saw some fish come up on top schooling. So we're just kind of making some fan cast in here. Is that a fish? That is one, yeah. Right on top. That's a big white bass too. Look at the size of this dude. Wow. Man, they've got huge white bass in Kaw Lake. Now, I'll tell you, these aren't your little baby whites. These are big, fat, solid, dark-colored, beautiful fish right there. Well, so here's the deal. As you saw, we began the show fishing out of my Tracker Pro Team 195 40th Anniversary Edition, which I love, but got here about halfway through the day and hit a couple of big waves, and well, I won't go into a lot of detail, but caused some problems. The wind got up real big, so we had to go in and get some service done on the boat, and it needed to stay in for a couple of days to get some parts in. And so we took it into the Boathouse Marine right in Ponca City. and I met Dwayne Howie, who owns the place. He's had it for many, many years. They're a tracker dealer, and they put us in this Guide V 175. It's a nice boat, really deep, lots of room, takes big waves well, and we needed it today because we, again, got out in some big waves. But again, just a big shout out to Dwayne Howie and the Boathouse for helping us out right here in Ponca City. So if you're gonna buy a boat and you're in Oklahoma, do me a favor and go buy it from my buddy Dwayne, because he really helped us out. And we've been able to get back out here and catch some fish. Gonna slide over and try to catch a couple of crappie in a minute. I'm gonna get out in that big water, those big waves here in just a second. I'm protected behind this sandbar right now, but there's some big waves, but I know where some brush piles are and some spots that I want to give a shot to. So hang in there with us. We'll try to catch a few more. I love Kaw Lake. It's a beautiful place. Got tons of fish in it, all kinds, and we're just having a great time, and we're able to still fish thanks to Dwayne. We appreciate you, buddy.
This part of the program is brought to you by Foreshore Transportation, the simple solution to all your freight hauling needs. Foreshore can ship freight across the country or across the state. Whatever the load, wherever the destination, Foreshore gets it done fast, safe, and hassle-free. Captain Jack McGowan out of Savannah says the slot redfish are in the creeks. This is the fall time of year where it's cool in the mornings. You can get a nice day like today with nice and calm. You can just fish about anywhere. You want to fish between the moons, says Jack. He says there's tailing fish and lots of fish in the creeks and around shell bars. They'll take jigs and grubs. You can also tip the jigs with mud minnows or small mullet. Trout fishing has been good, according to Jack. He says plenty of fish around. He had a pair of anglers who were fly fishing the other day. All the fish were caught and released. He says shrimp fly patterns are working very well. Whiting fishing has been also very good along the Georgia coast, according to Jack. He says the outer sandbars are full of fish. You can catch them on small pieces of shrimp. Whiting are wonderful to eat. You want to catch a bunch of fish to take home for dinner. The whiting are the target. There's also bull redfish along around those deeper sandbars along the coast of Georgia. And there's still plenty of fish at the mouths of inlets, like the St. Mary's Inlet, where the jetties extend very far out. And there's good big bull red drum fishing there, and also flounder are there. In Mississippi, redfish are still on fire. Plenty of fish in the bays and sounds and river mouths. And in Alabama, the trout are starting to move up the bays toward the mouths of the river as we get into this fall weather. The fish are staging, and they're taking jigs and shrimp. You can also catch them around the oil and gas rigs out in Mobile Bay with a split shot and a shrimp on a small hook. Well, that's it for the Coastal South. Get out in the water and take a youngster with you when you go.
You got him?
Yep.
We got fish schooling around here.
Good.
And this is my brother Terry, and I just picked up the camera because we had fish busting around. What is that? That's a spotted bass. Hooked under the chin. Look at that dude. Wow, that's a good spot. So there is another species for Kaw Lake. They're schooling again right here. Wow. If you can get back out there, you can catch another one. Look at that. Cool. Big spot. Huge bunch of fish schooling out here. They are going crazy right there. Got him. There you go. Got him? Yep. This is my brother catching them one right after the next. We have found some Kaw Lake schoolies. I tell you, when you come fishing at Kaw, you just catch whatever's here, whatever you catch. We've caught everything today. What's this? Big white bass. That's one of those great big ones. They have some of the biggest white bass on this lake. Look at this big dude. Wow, that's cool, dude. Hold him up a little bit. There you go. Look at the size of that dude. That's a big whopper white bass. Man.
There we go. Look at that sucker.
What do we got?
Looks like a largemouth.
Another bass. You are a bass catching dude. This is brother Terry, the cameraman. That's a big spotted bass. Holy cow, that's even a bigger one than the last one. I can't believe you can flop that big dude in the boat. Look at the size of this dude. What a great spot. Man, that's a big old spotted bass, no matter who you are or where you're from right there. Man, you are a one bass catching cameraman.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by NITRO Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made. Mercury Outboards, go boldly. Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan your fishing vacation and catch the details at orangebeach.com/fishing. And LOWRANCE and the new Hook 2, the world's easiest fish finder.
Oh, it's a good crappie. That's a good crappie. There we go. Hey, as you can see, we're still out here on Caw Lake, and it's turned windy on us. We've had some sort of a little front roll through here, and we are bouncing, rocking, and rolling. And I pulled up on this brush pile, and you can see right here in front of me, I've got 2 marker buoys out marking the brush. And I found this actually driving around yesterday practicing, and there were a lot of crappie on it. There's one right there. They were really stacked on it. Let's see if that's a crappie. There was other fish in here as well. Whoa, buddy. Now the wind's got me. Oh, it's a good crappie. That's a good crappie. There we go. All right, there's a fish. Good one too. Boy, that's a good sized slab for you there. Caught him on a little Bobby Garland 3-inch slab slayer. I don't use that big 3-inch one very often, but I got tipped to that. Leon Mears, who fishes this lake all the time, he said use these big ones and the good sized crappie will hit it. Well, we're fighting some wind, and I'm having to do it the hard way. I'm having to use a manual trolling motor and just hold us right on that brush. The real key is, though, if you can just get right on that brush and feel the brush. You actually want to get hung every once in a while. You want to lose a couple of jigs, actually, because that way you know you're touching the brush. You want to actually touch it, and that's where the fish will be hanging real tight right on the brush. We are keeping crappie, by the way, so I'm going to put him back there in an ice chest that we've got going. But I want to show you again the quick shot of what this brush pile looks like. But it's just a big hump of brush, and it's literally out in the middle of the lake. You can see there's nothing anywhere around here that would indicate brush. Now, I don't know if it's man-made or if it's just maybe a big tree that used to be there and broke off and laid on the floor of the lake or what. That's really the pattern here at Caw, is find these brush piles and you'll find the crappie. All right, this one goes in an ice chest.
Hey guys, this week's Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama report is brought to you by the good folks over at Orion Cooler. Made right here in the great state of Tennessee, it is the last cooler you'll ever need. OrionCoolers.com. It is a windy day, it is fall, it is cool out, I'm happy, life is good. The fish are biting, I haven't seen another boat all day. All the things I love about fall are here and they're happening right now. Here's where I would go in Mississippi. I would go to Lake Sardis or Lake Enid. A great friend of mine, incredible crappie fisherman, just is trashing them over there. Big slabs, the kind you take pictures of and you don't have to hold them way out close to the camera. Also, I would go to Alabama and I'd go to Guntersville and I would throw the Strike King Mega Dog. Big walking bait, I would fish around the grass edges, I would fish those main lake bars that have sparse grass on them, and I would throw any color as long as it was bone, oyster, or black. Any of those three. Early and late, when it's dark, throw black. When the sun's up, the rest of the time, throw oyster or bone. In Tennessee, I'm going to Dale Hollow right now because I love to fish for big smallmouth. No secret, everybody knows me, knows that I love it. And if you go there, you'll love it too. The upper end is gonna be a little bit more color. You can fish crankbaits right now and just throw them on bluff ends and secondary points and little transition areas. Go on the lower end of the lake, you can throw a swim bait, an A-rig, a jig, drop shot, and have a chance to catch a world record smallmouth. That's where it came from, guys. And this is the time of year where they're starting to really bite. So if you want to go somewhere, spend a little time where you catch a lot of fish and have some beautiful scenery, this is a great part of the world to be. We'd love to see you here. God bless.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes by clicking the archive button and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and follow button on Twitter. And watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lew's. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland. We know bass and crappie from heads to tails. And by Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Gary asks, what is the first technique you think someone new to bass fishing should master? For the answer, we asked Bassmaster Elite Angler Jacob Wheeler.
Start out simple. Don't get too crazy. There's tons of lures out there. I mean, you go anywhere you go, there's lots of different things. You go to a tackle shop, you have hundreds of choices. Pick a couple different things. Pick your standby, a jig, a crank, shot running crankbait, and a topwater. And try to learn those 3 techniques. Go to those places, those ponds nearby your house. Some of the best fishing that we have is in these retention ponds close by to our cities. I grew up in Indianapolis, and Indiana's not known for our bass fishing. That is just not one thing. We're known for basketball, but we're not known for bass fishing. And so I would go to those retention ponds and catch these fish on a jig or a buzz bait or a rattle trap, and I would learn that technique. And so then when I would go fishing on another place that might not have as many fish, I knew how to fish that bait and I knew I was doing it right. So that's what I would do. Go to places that have a lot of fish, and learn those techniques and then move on to the harder lakes.
Thanks, Jacob. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send it in. Now, stay with us to see the latest Big Catch of the Week winner.
Back at the boat ramp, it's time right now for someone to get their big fish photo shown on television in the Big Catch of the Week contest. Here is this week's winner. He is Richard Moore of Knoxville, Tennessee, with a 41-pound striped bass he caught at Fort Loudon Lake in Tennessee. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Big Catch of the Week area on the right side of the homepage, and follow the instructions to send us your big fish photo. Next up, I want to show you a little bit of the gear we used primarily to catch the crappie out of these brush piles. It begins with a 6-foot medium light action Wally Marshall Pro Series Lew's rod, perfect for jigging these brush piles. Had it paired with the Lew's Wally Marshall Signature Series spinning reel. And then for the bait, this is a little different bait than I normally use. This is the Bobby Garland Moglo jig head in a blue color, and I had it paired with the Twilight color Bobby Garland 3-inch slab slayer, and it worked great to catch those good crappie out of the brush piles. I always wear my Glacier gloves. They are water resistant, they are breathable, they dry quickly, they've got some leather on the palms for gripping, they're fingerless for tying knots. They keep the sun, the wind, and the fish teeth off my hands. Someone close to me passed away not too long ago because they wouldn't go to the doctor. They finally went, and by the time they did, it was too late. We'll call a roofer when the roof leaks, we'll call a plumber when the plumbing's broken, we'll call an electrician, but many folks just won't go to the doctor. Much of it is the fear of what might be wrong, but it's much better to go and face it and get some medical attention before it's too late. I spend a lot of time in the sun, and I go to the dermatologist on a regular basis. In fact, you may have noticed I've been undergoing some treatments lately. Go to the doctor if you need help, because the consequences of not doing so can be catastrophic. Thanks for joining us for this week's episode from beautiful Kaw Lake in northern Oklahoma. Special thanks to Leon Mears of the Bobby Garland Pro staff for helping us find some of these brush piles and getting on some of these fish. And special thanks to Dwayne Howie of the Boathouse Marine in Ponca City, Oklahoma for rescuing us, putting us in a really nice boat, getting us back out of the water really quickly. I love this boat. You might want to check it out. And if you're going to buy a boat, get it from the Boathouse, Ponca City, Oklahoma. Until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.